you guys in the day-to-day street battle of winning, pitching, reviewing, I mean, from the perception view, there's you can imagine that on the client side, on big corporates, they may see the MFA vision, but what they see on the street is a very different picture, where it's ridiculously competitive out there, and so it forces all sorts of behaviours that go on underneath the surface that may be very different to the projected vision of the MFA. How do we grapple with that kind of dichotomy, tension, whatever we might want to call it? Is that fair? Am I making a fair observation? Am I right?
I'm glad you raised it, actually. I think it's a good point to raise.
You're in. Sorry, Henry.
I think
Katie was being disrespectful.
No, that's okay. We sort of like Group M. That is a challenging subject for the MFA, and primarily because the MFA is not designed to manage how individual members behave in market in their own businesses. That would be anti-competitive. It's actually illegal, and there are parameters in which the MFA can and does operate in, and there are areas that they don't. How individual agencies behave in market is an issue. And I think that's the biggest challenge we have in providing and being seen as providers of thought leadership, is sometimes let down by action management that says exactly the opposite to what we're trying to get clients to do. And primarily, we're trying to get clients to get confident about what marketing means in their business. And if we, as businesses that are there to support and leverage marketing, aren't confident in our own businesses, then it doesn't really set up for a good outcome. So there are some operators in our marketplace that are doing things that are unsustainable, and that will catch up with them. And that, if you look back at what's happened,
are they on the MFA board by any chance?
Yes, and some aren't, but that's just a factor of a competitive industry that has ups and downs and cycles. So different agencies have different cycles at different times, and cycles determine behaviour in my view. But within the industry, there are a number of organisations that are leading through their behaviour, and I think that does more good than what the agencies that are misbehaving are doing.
In the last 6 months, and from the demand side, from the client side, you're actually seeing a change in behaviour as well. You're seeing clients actually going, we recognise this is unsustainable, and there's always going to be a spectrum. There's going to be some clients who will have very linear measurement, and it may be led by procurement, and they just want to measure paid eyeballs, and entities that want to behave in an unsustainable way will offer service pricing that looks good on day one, and everyone will regret for the duration of that relationship. I think the MFA believes in sustainable business practices, and you're seeing clients now, even on the procurement side, starting to say that was unsustainable. We were getting bad service for that, and we recognise we need to pay for the kind of thinking that is going to drive our business, and that's been incredibly refreshing in the last 6 months. I think, as Henry says, on the agency side, there are examples of better behaviour. Where procurement has thrown a relationship to pitch just for what can I get out of this. There have been entities that said we're not pitching again, and we're publicly stating we're not pitching again, and those procurement entities potentially come out with not the outcome they were hoping for, which was a cheaper price they could take back to their boards and then move on to the next supplier. I think as an industry that is about driving sales outcomes for business, it can't be measured in the same way as pens or toilet roll supply.